the top, so how you feeling down there? It's a cold, cruel, harsh reality. Caught, stuck here with your enemies. Who do you think you are? Tearing us all apart. Where did you think you could go? 'Cause everyone already knows it's 20 to 1. Yeah, so you better run. You got the world on its knees. You're taking all that you please. You want more, but you get nothing from me. You like the burden we bear. You love the hate that we share. You want more, but you get nothing from me. But enemies, enemies.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Raw Reaction Live here on Spreaker.com. And ladies and gentlemen, we have quite a bit to talk about on this show. So I am Nate the Effin' Great, joined here by the Daniel Bryan to my Shane McMahon, the one and only Mr. AJ Jensen. How's it going, sir?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. I just got back from vacation, and things cannot get any better, I guess.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and I do apologize to some people. There's a little bit of an echo going on right now, so we're just going to ignore that and just continue on. I think it might be one of our sides. Anyway, so we are going to be talking about Extreme Rules as well as Monday Night Raw. We're not even going to start talking about Raw until later on. Let's first start off with Extreme Rules and kickoff show. Apollo Crews versus Kalisto. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Kalisto picks up the victory by doing a bounce off on Titus O'Neil and then hit the Salida del Sol on Apollo Crews for the 1-2-3. Yeah.
It wasn't even that. For me, it was like how bad they made Apollo Crews look because he hit the standing shooting star splash. Kalisto kicked out, and then they had Apollo Crews go up to Titus O'Neil, basically saying, like, what else do I got to do? What do I do next? Making him look so weak, like he has never done this before, and I hated that so much.
I don't know what they're doing with Apollo Crews and with Titus O'Neil at this point. They're just kind of there, you know?
And the funny thing is, like, with as big as Titus is, with as big as Apollo Crews is, if they actually maybe added a couple more people into this Titus brand group, like, they could actually have a pretty decent, like, stable here, and I think it would be, like, believable, but they're just, I don't know what they're doing nowadays. I don't even think they know what they're doing most of the days until, like, the day shit happens.
Welcome to the world of Vince McMahon, my friend. That's really all I got to say about that. So we move on to the first matchup of the actual event, which was Dean Ambrose defending the IC title against The Miz. If Dean Ambrose would have been disqualified, he would have lost the title. Good matchup, all honestly. Even that finish was, it was kind of loopy, but at the same time, it worked because we got a new Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite matches of the night. It was a great way to kick off the main card. Couple of things happened in this match that I kind of thought was going to happen. The part where Miz basically looks at Maurice and was like, hit me right now. Like, that, for me going into that match, for them not to do that just would have been stupid. Because it's like, yeah, like you said, Dean Ambrose gets disqualified, Miz wins. So right away, why don't you have your manager/wife hit you, and you think, okay, Dean gets disqualified, I win. Makes sense, right?
Right.
So, I think everybody on the face of the planet was expecting Miz to win this by DQ. And it certainly looked like it was going to go that way after Miz threw Dean Ambrose into the ref while the ref's back was turned when he was was dealing with Maurice. And then Miz just says, you know what, screw it. Skull Crushing finale, 1, 2, 3. I like it. Like I said, it's one of my favorite matches of the night. Miz, for me, is must-see TV. He is so good. I've been saying this for the better part of 2 years now. There were people out there that doubted me that are now on my side. I've been saying it, like I said, for the better part of 2 years, or almost 2 years. And he's hotter than ever. I think he's better now than when he was world champ. I was kind of talking to you earlier how he reminds me a lot of heel Edge with Lita when Edge was like on top of his game, and I don't think he can do any wrong right now.
No, I definitely agree. The thing was that I kind of found interesting was that I kind of looked back at what you were saying about, heel Edge with Lita, and one of the things that I found interesting was that throughout Edge's career, he was more of a heel when he was with somebody, i.e. Vicky Guerrero or Lita. When he was a babyface, he was all by himself. He did just fine, but he really outshone when he was with somebody, whether it was somebody in power or just somebody who's just basically like, oh yeah, I'm hot, I'm with this guy, just a giant middle finger to them. Even when he was teaming up with Randy Orton for a rated RKO, that worked out very well for him. And same thing goes for The Miz.
You can go back to the Brood.
Yeah, I was going to even say, go back to the Brood, go back to Edge and Christian. Yeah, he's always just been able to do great with somebody, as long as he has somebody with great chemistry with as a heel. As a babyface, he could go by himself. Same with The Miz. If he has somebody there, then it becomes so much better, because either, in the case of his wife, he's got the smoking hot wife. Everybody wants her, and, it's like, yeah, I got a smoking hot wife, what of it? And he's also got the movie star good looks. He's got the many movies, which I know a lot of people are going to just down bash because, of course, we're going to see The Miz until Marine 72 or something like that. So, but yeah, I honestly was very surprised to see Miz pick up the title, via pinfall, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, it's refreshing. The disqualification factor was there, but it didn't play too much of a factor until about the very end, and it just ends up costing Dean more. But yeah, it was a great matchup to start off. Needless to say, that is not what we could say about this next matchup. Sasha Banks and Rich Swann versus Noam Dar and Alicia Fox.
Yeah, just like I predicted, this match did absolutely nothing for me. This whole feud it started out with Fox and Sasha Banks. Didn't care for it any way, shape, or form. They decided to throw a couple of cruiserweights in there, maybe to spice it up, and it still did absolutely nothing for me. I think the only good spot of that match that I thought was pretty cool is when Sasha did the double knee drop off the top rope onto Noam Dar.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, this match.
Probably the only worthwhile thing to mention about that match.
And Rich Swann is a former cruiserweight champion too, so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love watching Rich Swann. Just this match had. I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more if it was just Swann versus Noam Dar.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, probably put that match up there with Kalisto and Apollo Crews for me.
Yeah. The amount of fucks given, 0.
Yeah.
All right. So next matchup on the card, I believe, was the was the women's championship match, right?
I believe so. I don't remember.
Yeah, well.
It's all jumbled together. Watching 6 hours of wrestling in the last 2 days.
Yeah. So with Alexa Bliss versus Bayley, it was a kendo stick on a pole matchup. We all predicted that Bayley was going to get the kendo stick, no problem. But what was very interesting was that Alexa Bliss basically pulled a Brock Lesnar, and she basically dominated this matchup. It was basically Lesnar and Cena SummerSlam 2, where as soon as Alexa Bliss got the kendo stick, boom, 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 DDT, done.
Yeah, she just beat the holy hell out of Bayley with that kendo stick. And I wonder if she got chewed out a little backstage, because one of those shots looked like she hit Bayley in the back of the head.
Oh yeah.
And I know WWE is straight away from headshots, so I wonder if they got bitched out backstage or not for that. But she, like, even if they did, I think that made it look even 10 times worse. And yeah, then when she props the kendo stick up in the corner and throws Bayley into it, like in her by her neck and shoulder area, even that looked just nasty. And yeah, I mean, like you said, it was basically like watching Lesnar and Cena from SummerSlam. It was, I think that match was over in what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes,
At least.
And it was all, it was 95% Alexa Bliss, which I am okay with.
Because it's Alexa Bliss, why not?
And another thing I don't understand is, like, why did they bring up this whole, like, oh, I've been studying Tommy Dreamer and I've been studying Sandman and yada yada yada, and then she doesn't even use the thing. She gets it and hesitates, and she didn't even get a swing off, I don't believe.
No, I don't believe she did.
But, I don't know, it's just kind of one of those things, like, if you study Tommy Dreamer and Sandman, guess what? You're going to use the damn thing.
Yeah, I guess maybe it was more what not to do with the kendo stick, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was a horrible match. I mean, I enjoyed it because Alexa Bliss just freaking out. I mean, we get to see a very, very vicious side of Fury, what is it, the goddess of the women's division?
The goddess of WWE.
Yeah. I mean, say what you want about her, that girl is a badass.
Yeah, they're going to make her into like the Greek mythology. They're going to put Aphrodite, Athena, and then Alexa Bliss right next there.
Yep, I am okay with that.
Next matchup we had was the Hardy Boys defending their tag team titles against Sheamus and Cesaro. Pretty good matchup, but I think there was a lot of confusing parts that were going on here that really threw the fans off for a loop.
I don't know. I didn't really think there was any confusion about it. I mean, it was old school traditional steel cage match where the only way to win is escape. And you knew at some point with the tag team match that one person's going to get out of the cage, which is going to leave their partner in the cage with two people. And we've actually seen this before with the Hardy Boys, where Jeff escapes first, leaves Matt in the ring, Matt gets beat down, and Jeff tries to come back in. And of course, that's what we saw this time. Jeff escapes, sees Matt getting basically beat down by Sheamus and Cesaro, tries to get his way back into the ring and help him out. But when he does that, he basically re-enters the match. But, god damn, that was one hell of a whisper in the wind off the top of the cage.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. I mean, I've seen it before when he did to Umaga, but it's still a thing of beauty.
Yeah, he did it. He's done it before with Umaga. I want to say he did it against the New Age Outlaws once before too.
Well, no, I think you're thinking of Cody Rhodes. I think.
I'm not sure what tag team it was, but I know he did it with against a tag team before, and I swear the Hardys had a match with the New Age Outlaws. in a steel cage.
Maybe I missed that one.
It was a long time ago.
Maybe. All right. Next matchup was what I thought was...
The match was awesome. I loved the match. Like, I liked... I liked the outcome. I think everyone predicted that those two were gonna walk away with the tag titles.
And Cesaro and Sheamus.
Wow.
I was gonna say Cesaro and Sheamus actually looked more like a tag team in this matchup than they have in previous weeks.
Yeah, and I thought everything about that match was the stuff they did in the cage, the stuff that, Jeff coming off the top. Like, I thought it was all pretty damn good for being a steel cage match,
Yeah. I think it was a lot better than what we ever could have anticipated. And like you said, Sheamus and Cesaro pick up the gold.
Yeah.
Which, nobody's going to complain about. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think there's a lot of people that are saying, no, the Hardys can stick around a bit longer. Put the belts on them. We know it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen right now. Jeff is going to take on Brock, and then Matt's going to reinvigorate himself, basically. And we move on to the Cruiserweight Championship submission match. Whew, boy howdy, this was actually really good.
Yeah, the match was great, but this is where WWE likes to come in and say, "Fuck you, AJ." I'm finally in a title picture here with our picks. I'm finally in the lead, like almost all night long, like tied in the lead, and WWE says, "Sorry about your damn luck. We're gonna fuck you on these next two matches." And yeah, I mean, all that aside, I'm just messing around with that. The match was absolutely incredible. I have loved pretty much every match these two have had together since they started this feud. It's just I think the two best in the Cruiserweight division just going head to head, and I really thought they were gonna, give this one to Austin Aries. Like, he got the eye gouge at WrestleMania. The refs getting pushed by Neville in their second matchup, and I thought, like, okay, this is going to be the one. Third time's the charm. Austin Aries is going to go over here. Nope. Not even. They can't give the greatest man that ever lived a fucking Cruiserweight title at all.
Well, I mean, I can understand why they did, because Neville has done such a tremendous job with the belts, and I know you're not discrediting Neville at all. I just think that they're going to have them...
Because I've loved Neville and what he's done.
Yeah. I think that they're just going to have him hold on to the belt just a tad bit longer. I know people are saying, keep the belt on Neville forever. I don't see that happening. I think maybe I'll be surprised if it surpasses SummerSlam, if they hold the belt on him for that long.
I really would have loved to have seen what Austin Aries could have done with that. And maybe give us a couple of matches with Neville chasing Aries for it. But, I mean, you got the king of the cruiserweights versus the greatest man that ever lived. It's hard to pick. And the funny thing about that, too, is I actually, when I was making my picks, I almost put down Neville first. I don't know. There's just something, my gut. I always tinker around, and my gut was telling me Neville right away. And I started typing Neville, and I was like, they'll finally put it on Aries. Like I said, third time's the charm. They'll put it on Aries. Aries is too big of a name to not win that title. Apparently not.
Yeah, that's funny, because that was the same situation with me when I picked Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. I honestly thought, hey, they're probably going to give these guys a victory. Well, they might go to Rich Swann, Sasha. Nope, going with the gut. And it paid. It made me pay in the worst way. But, oh, man, I mean, some of the moments in this matchup where, you know, both men got their respective submission holds in, the last chancery on the outside, the finish was just absolutely wonderful. The red arrow into the Rings of Saturn by Neville, just a thing of beauty. Holy crap.
It was cool how they did it, too, because they almost made it look like Austin Aries tried rolling out of the way, you know, to, like, dodge it.
Yeah.
And then he basically gets, like, the knees to the back, which made it look, like, almost even worse than, like, the actual red arrow itself. But then he took it on the back, and then, yeah, Neville was right there just to lock in the Rings of Saturn. So they did that so well. I think these two work together so good. I could watch them feud for a long time.
Almost as much as Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
But I actually wonder, because I saw a tweet from Austin Aries after the show talking about he's gonna reflect on his career and maybe make some changes. I wonder if he's actually going to step out of the cruiserweight division and maybe be more present on the main roster than just in the cruiserweight division.
Maybe. I wouldn't be against it, depending on where he goes.
If that's the case, if that's the reason they didn't have him beat Neville, is to keep Neville on basically the face of 205 Live and the face of the cruiserweight division, which to me really isn't main card. It's like main card, but like B main card.
Right.
And if them not putting the title on Austin Aries means he's going to be more present on the main roster, and I don't know, like, I don't know, kind of like how Sami Zayn is, I guess. Like, Sami Zayn could be in the cruiserweight division, but he's not. I'm not saying book him like Sami Zayn, because he's been booked horribly, but if he just has that more present role like Sami Zayn does, I'll be okay with it.
Right. We move on to the main event, the Fatal 5-Way, where the winner goes on to face Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire. The logo that looks like a giant
pay-per-view name ever.
Oh, you think the pay-per-view name's horrible? You look at the logo that they already put on there. I mean, it literally is.
Yeah, the flaming dick and balls. Seriously, look at that thing. It looks like, it's supposed to look like, I don't know, two balls on fire, but like the trail mark behind it looks like the shaft of a penis.
Yeah, somebody actually put a picture of that, and they basically broke it down, and it's one of those things like, wow, great job, WWE. More dick jokes.
And that's classic Vince, like, oh, let's make it look like dick and balls. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, we're not impressed, Vince. I'm sorry, but we're not impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I see stuff like that, and like knowing Vince is still in charge, it just makes me think of when I read that in See No Evil, Vince McMahon wanted Kane's character, Jacob Goodnight, to have a 3-foot penis and have him whip it out in the movie because Vince thought it would be funny. And keep in mind, this is the same man who wanted to have an incest angle with his daughter back in the Attitude Era. Yeah, wow.
I threw up just a little bit, just reminded me of that. Oh, God.
I mean, Vince has had some very, very genius moments in his career, but he's also had some not-so-genius moments in his career. And, yeah, I think people often overlook that because he's done so many good things. But it's like, I kind of look at him as like Brett Favre. Like, yeah, he had the completion record, the touchdown record, the passing yards record, but he also has the most interceptions record. So it's like, you know, there is some bad with the good, but there's so much good, people forget about the bad. But when you actually look at the bad, you're like, ooh, that is bad. Like,
yeah, I definitely do agree. But
I mean, let's not forget the time Mae Young gave birth to a rubber hand.
Oh boy, can we talk about the main event and just get off this depressing subject right now, please?
Yes, let's move on to the main.
Fatal 5-way matchup, hands down, match of the night. Really, very well done. Whew,
yeah,
boy.
the shitty thing is I knew as soon as Finn Balor made his entrance, he wasn't winning. And it's sad because I think the entire world wanted him to win, but as soon as he made his entrance and he just came out as Finn Balor, no demon paint, no cool entrance. Well, his entrance is always cool, but like not his demon entrance. I think the entire world sighed at the same time, because they all realized, shit, he's not winning this.
I would have thought the same thing too, but it was one of the things where it's like, well, maybe they're saving it for special events. Maybe it's for just title matches or something like that. But now that you put it like that, it does make sense. But again, I mean, geez Louise. I mean, Roman Reigns spears Finn Balor and Samoa Joe through the barricade. Seth Rollins with a 5-star frog splash to Bray Wyatt on the announce table. These guys just hitting each other with chairs and just going absolutely ape shit on each other. Just it definitely showed you how much these guys wanted that title shot.
Well, there's Bray Wyatt's been doing something lately that caught my attention. And it almost seems like he's paying tribute to Jake the Snake Roberts. And I wonder if it had anything to do with Jake the Snake's tweet that he talked about, saying that he would love to have a feud with Bray Wyatt. Obviously, he's like 70-something years old, so they're not going to do it. But Jesus Christ, like, if you think put Jake the Snake Roberts back in his prime against Bray Wyatt now, just shut up and take my money. Those promos would be absolute insane. But Bray Wyatt has been doing the Jake the Snake Roberts DDT lately. Even so much so as when he locks in the DDT, he waves his arm around in the air like a circle, like Jake the Snake always did. I saw it at Extreme Rules when he DDT'd Seth Rollins on the steel steps, and he did it on Monday Night Raw last night. I even made a post in the wrestling group saying like that DDT Bray just did would make Jake the Snake proud. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's paying homage to Jake the Snake. Maybe Jake the Snake will come in kind of as like a guide or something like that. I'd actually pay to see that too.
Yeah.
But
that match got,
oh jeez.
Everybody got their high spots in that match, you know. We got a couple of coquina clutches. We got Sister Abigail. We got a spear, Superman punch. I mean, nobody cares about that. We got all of Balor's moves. Did Seth really get his finisher off? I can't remember. I know he did like the big 5-star, but did he do his little like? I call it the Rainmaker flying knee. I don't even know what he calls it.
I don't know if he did his knee. I know that he missed the Phoenix Splash on Roman Reigns, but I don't know. I think he only had a couple of high-flying spots, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But
the only one that really didn't get his signatures off. But yeah, the match was just absolutely insane.
And the ending caught us all by surprise. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Finn Balor hitting the coup de grace on Roman Reigns for a 1-2. Out of nowhere, here comes Samoa Joe, and he's like, nope, gonna lock you in my chokehold, and I'm gonna make you pass out like a little pansy. And literally, this was a moment where I'm just like, wait, no. Because we all know, because if you followed our Facebook fan page, I was posting up a lot of the results and the point systems to our deal, and I think I'm trying to remember here. It was you, me, and Max. We had Finn Balor. Chris had Seth Rollins.
And Spencer had Joe.
That his prediction was just out of the blue. It was one of those things where he even told me yesterday. He was like, I wasn't even expecting it to even happen. I just picked it. I thought it might work. I'm like, dude, I still hate you though. But yeah, Samoa Joe chokes out Finn.
He slithered in there like a snake and just wrapped himself around Balor. And as disappointed as I was, because I really wanted Balor to win, I can't even be mad, because I think Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar is going to be like Godzilla versus King Kong. Like, it's going to be freaking epic.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good matchup. So, yeah, that's what ended up at Extreme Rules. All in all, Extreme Rules wasn't too bad.
No, I really liked Extreme Rules. The only match I didn't like on the main card was that tag team match. I thought every other match was really good. Well, other than the pre-show. I didn't care for that. But every match on the main card except the tag match, I really, really enjoyed. Thought Extreme Rules was probably one of the better pay-per-views for Raw in a while. I don't know. I kind of wish they would get rid of Extreme Rules. At least the name, because it's not what it used to be. You know.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, have it a pay-per-view and just have matches with certain stipulations, like steel cage match. I mean, Christ, we had 2 matches that didn't even have like any Extreme Rules stipulations to it. We had one match with, if you got, the irony of this is insane. You had an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, you have a match where if you get disqualified, you lose the title. That's insane. And then a tag team match, even though it was, intergender, no Extreme Rules stipulation. So out of the 5 main card matches, we had a kendo stick match, a steel cage match, which in my opinion, steel cage match really is, to me, that's not extreme. They've been doing steel cage matches forever in history in professional wrestling. And then the Extreme Rules match at the end, which that one was pretty decent, but, that could have been a regular pay-per-view with 3 matches that had different stipulations on it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know. But we move on from Extreme Rules to Monday Night Raw. Oh, God.
Monday Night Raw was the shit that Extreme Rules took.
Yeah, and it all started with the first matchup, which was Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns, in which, once again, you were livid at, again, the results and, again, what they're doing with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, they're turning Bray Wyatt into the boy that cried wolf, like, to me. Because he's been saying forever that he's the face of fear, the eater of worlds, he's a god, but all he does is lose. And at some point you have to stop taking him seriously. And it's sad because he's talented as hell. He's got a great look. He is phenomenal on the mic. I don't think there's anybody, maybe The Miz, now that Jericho is gone, that could even compete with Bray Wyatt on the mic right now.
Yeah, it's just frustrating, like you've stated so many times, that they have a pure diamond right here in Bray Wyatt who could be taken over where The Undertaker left off, and they don't go with him. They don't give him a chance.
I mean, he's 0-3 at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The last pay-per-view win he had was Elimination Chamber.
No, it's Payback.
Who did he beat? What was that one?
The House of Horrors matchup. Everybody's favorite matchup.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't even count that because that was just fucking horseshit. But I mean, yeah, I guess I guess that is technically still a win, though, but still, what are they doing? Like you said, they have a diamond, and they're turning that diamond into a turd.
I don't even think turd is a...
I love Bray Wyatt. I met the dude, talked to him for a little bit, super freaking cool, and I know he's got to be frustrated. Like, if they don't give him, like, a 5-year title run eventually, like, what the hell is he even doing there? Like, people have been saying, like, oh, Bray needs to go to another company that'll use him better. And I was like, no, he should stay in WWE. WWE will start using him right. Now I'm to the point where it's like, Bray, please go somewhere else. Do maybe, change your name, maybe do the same type of thing. Obviously, he probably wouldn't be able to be Bray Wyatt because WWE will own the rights to that, but he could still do the character. Because I believe he came up with it all by himself. And I don't know, maybe if he went somewhere else, they'd use him right, but they are just not using him at all. Like, you look at what he was standing face to face with Roman Reigns last night. Like, Roman Reigns is supposed to be like the big dog, and I'm like, dude, like, Bray Wyatt is a big dude, and he's not just fat. His arms are huge and they're muscular. Like, I'm like, he's bigger than Reigns. Like, his arms were bigger than Reigns, and I don't know, he's just so talented. I love it, like, watching him do what he does. And then he cuts these great promos. Last night, he's like, I am going to punish everyone in that match last night. And freaking does loses to Roman Reigns. It's like, what the fuck? They could have had a great thing where he goes and has all these matches with the different people from the Fatal 5-Way, and they have him lose the first one?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. When you put it that way,
honestly, at this point, I wish they would have left him on SmackDown.
At least he would have still had some credibility to him.
Yeah.
But let's move on from this depressing matter to something that was actually very, I wouldn't know if I'd say entertaining, but as much as, like, shocking, probably to say the least, and that being Samoa Joe coming out, cutting a promo on Brock Lesnar, and out comes Paul Heyman, where I was kind of surprised at how Paul Heyman kind of really, talked to Samoa Joe. He made it seem like, Samoa Joe actually could be competition for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. I saw somebody say, like, okay, Paul, like, that's the genius of Paul Heyman. Like, we all saw when Paul Heyman came out and was talking to Finn Balor that what he said was like, wow, he's putting Finn Balor over. And he was. But then he flips it, comes out and says, oh, well, when I was talking to Balor, that was best case scenario for Brock Lesnar. You are worst case scenario. And it's just like, God damn it, Paul Heyman, you are an absolute genius.
He knows how to really just take a lemon and turn it into not only lemonade, but just added, like, something to it that makes it even that much better.
I'm pretty sure Paul Heyman can turn water into wine.
Yeah, I honestly could see that happening. Basically he built up, the fact that, Brock Lesnar and him are looking forward to face each other at Great Balls of Fire. And then Samoa Joe puts him in a corner. He says, hey, I want you to send a little message to him. And he was just kind of like, hey man, I know you're just an advocate. But just know this, that I want you to send a message to your client because I'm going to choke you out right now. Which he did. Oh, poor Paul. He got killed by Samoa Joe, basically.
Yeah, and I love it too because it's like that is only just going to pump up the feud between him and Brock. Like, nobody who's faced Brock Lesnar in recent memory has had the balls to even touch in comes Samoa Joe. And he was like, I want you to tell him in great deal, like only you can, Paulie. And I love that he called him Paulie, too. And then just locks it in.
Yeah, that was just one of those moments where I was not expecting Samoa Joe to go that far, but it got somebody's attention because later on, Paul got a phone call, and he actually showed the phone that showed on the call ID. It said just Brock. I'm like, oh, well, this is going to be good. So, yeah. Paul gets a call from Brock, and basically Paul just says, you need to install the fear into Samoa Joe, and you need to do that next week by coming up on Raw. So we get Brock Lesnar next week.
Yeah, that could be very interesting. This will, I believe, be the first time we've seen Brock Lesnar since WrestleMania on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about that. I've always said in the past, you need your champion on your show. Brock Lesnar, I believe, has been the first champion, like, ever in the history to, like, not really be around. You know, if I think back, like, every champion has constantly been on weekly, you know, defending their titles once every 30 days until Brock Lesnar a few years ago.
Yeah, I just don't understand WWE's logic.
Yeah, and I get it. They're trying to say that Brock Lesnar is special. He's an attraction. If we give him to you too much, he's not going to be the same. Well, you did that before we got Brock Lesnar weekly, and what did he do? He destroyed everyone weekly, like in the early 2000s. He can still be around constantly and be special and be a feature and be a must-see character. I don't know. I don't like not having the champion there. Like, he's supposed to be your draw. Like, your champion is supposed to be the person who puts asses in seats. And then if he's not there, it's like, okay, well, what the hell?
I don't know.
You know how pissed I would have been when I was a kid if I went to a wrestling show and Shawn Michaels, who was like my hero back then, and like basically my favorite wrestler of all time. You know how pissed I would have been if they had that treatment with him? Like, I go to the show expecting to see like my hero, and he's not there because, oh, he's too special. We can only show him once every couple of months. Otherwise, he's not going to be as special. I don't know. I hate it.
It's just one reason why WWE's ratings are just decreasing, because they just do this kind of stupid stuff.
Although I will say right now is a great time for Miz, because I want to say Miz was Intercontinental Champion when Brock Lesnar was champion before, and was it? I don't know. I can't remember. But right now, this is a great time for Miz to basically take Monday Night Raw by the horns and just fucking ride that show out. Get people to come there for him. Make him the main event. Make him the must-see person on Raw when Brock Lesnar's not there.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And we'll get into that a little bit more when we talk about Miz's championship celebration in just a bit. We're just going to skim through these couple of matches. Cesaro and Sheamus defeating Slater and Rhino. Go figure. Yep. TJP defeating Mustafa Ali, but this was mainly to build up the fact that now, tonight on 205 Live, Perkins and Neville have a Cruiserweight title match, which, out of the blue, actually.
Yeah. They just kind of dropped that on us. Like, I thought that was going to be something for Great Balls of Fire, which I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to turn into. sure Neville's gonna do some shenanigans tonight, and this feud will extend out to Great Balls of Fire, and possibly after that.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But we get into probably one of our favorite parts of Monday Night Raw, and that again being Shattered Dreams Productions back again, talking about the golden age and just Goldust again creating some magic again.
Yeah, and I really do feel like this is probably going to be Goldust's final hurrah. And I kind of feel like it's only fitting, like, if that is the case, this is how he needs to go out. He needs to go out as, you know, the original Goldust, the Shattered Dreams. I hope he starts wearing the wig again, to be honest. And comes out with, like, the long golden robes with all the feathers and ruffles and shit on them. If they could bring back Marlena, that would be awesome, too. But he said something, because now he's even doing his promos like the old Goldust. And if you remember those, he was very cryptic in some of his promos. And he said something last night that made me think about what I've been saying from the beginning, that if this is going to be the Shattered Dreams director, like Goldust that we had in the past, he needs to go in a feud with Miz when Miz is done with Ambrose. Have him and Truth finish theirs, Ambrose and Miz finish theirs, and then go into Goldust. Basically, it's almost like written in the stars, because if you remember when Goldust first came to WWE, his only obsession, his main obsession was the Intercontinental title. And now he's basically saying, like, you know, he's going back to, like, the beginning. But then he said something, too. He said the A-listers in his promo last night. Who's the one person on Monday Night Raw who calls himself the A-lister? What title does Miz have? The Intercontinental Championship. I'm like, dude, was that not some cryptic foreshadowing or what?
Actually, yeah, yeah, you called it.
I think Miz and Goldust could just, wow. The promos, I think, would be great. I think the matches could be really good, especially with how good Goldust has gotten, you know, these last, I don't know, 5-10 years.
Roughly about that time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that feud is just, that feud would write itself.
I agree. I am looking forward to seeing what they do with Goldust in the future. The only thing I have to say about the R-Truth's rebuttal thing is just a repeat of last week. Not even worth getting into.
Yeah, pretty much. Goldust does such a great promo, and then we get dog shit from R-Truth.
Yep. All right, skimming through this matchup, too, because there was no point. Kalisto defeating Titus O'Neil.
Using the tights.
Yeah.
Getting a little payback on Titus from, was that last week?
I think so.
When Titus took the trunks?
Probably sounds about right. Yeah, I just don't understand this feud. And again, unless they do something more with this brand, then there's no point in even continuing it.
Yeah.
But this is kind of interesting because once again, Kurt Angle and Corey Graves have a segment where text messages are being sent to Kurt Angle about, I guess, him doing a horrible job as GM. I've heard reports that they are building up a possible matchup for Kurt Angle at SummerSlam, being him versus Triple H.
Yep. It's funny. I don't know who. Did we talk about this at all last week?
About the text message deal or the
about like Angle having a match with Triple H.
No, I don't think we did that last week.
Okay, so this is really funny. While I was playing Friday the 13th, when I was in the lobby waiting for people to come in, I actually found out a bunch of the guys I was playing with were wrestling fans, because I was playing with a friend in Point, and I asked him if he was watching Extreme Rules on Sunday, and all of a sudden, like, 3 guys that were in the lobby with me were like, wait, you guys are wrestling fans? And it turns out, like, this whole group of people that we were playing with were all wrestling fans. So we all started talking about wrestling, and we brought up Kurt Angle, and everyone's like, well, who do you think, there's a rumor Kurt Angle's going to have, like, one more match or something like that before he's done. And I'm like, well, if he's going to do it, it's going to be against Triple H. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, because Stephanie McMahon's not there. He's been getting these, like, cryptic tweets and all that stuff, like you're saying, about him not doing a good job. I got a feeling it's going to be something to do with Stephanie and Triple H making their comeback to Monday Night Raw as the authority since, what kind? When have they been gone since? God, when was the last time they were around?
WrestleMania.
Was it Mania?
Yeah, because that was when Triple H had that match with Seth Rollins and...
oh, yeah, that's right, with Seth Rollins. So, yeah, like, that's only fitting, and I think those two would still tear the house down.
I agree. I think it would be still awesome to watch, and plus there's still history there that you can use, so... But we move on from that to what is probably the best thing that happened on Monday Night Raw last night. The Miz Intercontinental Championship celebration and the resuming Miz Intercontinental Championship comeback tour. Jesus.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite parts of the night.
Probably my only favorite part of the night last night.
And WWE did a great job swerving us last night, too. Because I was like, Dean Ambrose is banned from the building. Kurt Angle leaves with Corey Graves. Dean Ambrose sneaks back in. And as soon as that segment kicked off, I saw the guy in the bear costume. I was like, okay, WWE, we get it. That's Dean Ambrose. He's going to attack The Miz. And they really stuck it to us. Because it wasn't him. And I was like, okay, touche, WWE. And so then, they wheel up this big box, and Miz is like, I can hear something in there. Or someone, and just attacks the damn thing. And we find out that actually that was Maurice's gift to him, something she made, and it was a grandfather clock. She gets pissed, slaps Miz, and takes off. We can clearly see that Miz at this point is paranoid that Dean Ambrose, he feels like Dean Ambrose could be anywhere. Well, it turns out Dean Ambrose was the cameraman, and basically just hit him with dirty deeds and walked away. Now, that part I didn't get. Like, you just hit him with one move and leave? I'm like, okay, it's your finisher, but you don't talk shit to him, you don't pick up the title, rub it in his face. You just hit him with dirty deeds and take off? Like, I don't know.
Well, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head about Miz being paranoid, because now that, I think that Dean was just trying to get in his head and he realizes, I can do that, no problem. I think that was his point he was trying to prove. And besides that, do we really need to go through another cringeworthy Dean Ambrose promo that wasn't like post-Shield?
He's had a couple of good ones, man. Like I said, that one he cut against John Cena on SmackDown, when it was him, AJ Styles, and John Cena in the ring, I was like, ooh, he's not being funny, Dean Ambrose. Like, this is like old school Dean Ambrose. Like, I like this. And of course, then again, he didn't stick with it and went back to funny Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I will say this, that when they brought up the grandfather clock deal, what was racing through my head was first of all, why would a wife give her husband a grandfather clock? And then when she said the phrase, it represents you, it's timeless, and I'm like, Okay, I'm giving Maurice props just for that pun right there. I love it.
Yeah, it's timeless, just like you. Yeah, that was good. I did like that.
It was just a moment where it was like, what's the point of him getting a clock? And then she said that. I'm like, fair enough. I'm going to give you the point for that one. That was good. But yeah, like you said before, Miz again just found a way to just create something memorable and create a great segment. What I really loved was the just even before they even got all this chaos started, was all the fans are chanting, you deserve it, you deserve it, you deserve it. Yeah. And then Miz just says, that would mean a lot more to me if you did not say that to every single person that won an accolade here in WWE, which I thought, damn, he actually brought a really good point.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and that chant does happen a lot, but if you look at the people it's happened to, these are all mostly people who have worked their asses off, even coming up through the indies. People I can think of recently that got it, Naomi. That girl's busted her ass for years. She did deserve that, and she deserved the chant. Bray Wyatt, when he won the title, even though he was a heel at the time, you can clearly tell that the WWE Universe is behind him, because not that many heels win a title and get a "You Deserve It" chant out of it. I think Balor got it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's just a given. Balor does deserve it. And yeah, Miz, another heel who I've seen the crowds turn recently, where you start seeing in shows, whoever he's facing, the crowd will chant "Let's go," whoever, and then you'll hear "Let's go, Miz." That was even happening at Extreme Rules, and I think the people are finally starting, like I was talking about earlier, are finally starting to realize what I've been saying for the better part of 2 years. The Miz is awesome. And he's great in the ring. He is great on the mic. He has delivered some of the most memorable and best parts of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. And like I said, in the last 2 years, when he says he made the Intercontinental Championship, that he brought prestige back to it, and I love how he said this too. Make the Intercontinental Championship what it was when I was a kid and I looked up to it. He did. He really did, in my opinion. Because he did. He went out and he defended it day in, day out, just like he said. Had some great matches, some great feuds. And now he's got it back. And, 7 times? Now there's only one person in WWE who's held the Intercontinental Championship more than The Miz, and that's Chris Jericho. And that is, I think that's a huge accolade for Miz to be up in that category, where it's like the top 2 longest Intercontinental Champions of all time, Jericho and Miz. That's a good place to be.
Yeah, I had something that I wanted to kind of propose to you, and let me know if you think this is either a stupid idea or this might be one of the best ideas. I would really love to see The Miz win the title back a couple more times. He's just about to reach that 10th reign. He maybe could be facing off against, I'm trying to think of who would be somebody good. I don't want to say Ambrose, because I think that, we're kind of done with that Ambrose winning the title back deal. But, just somebody who really deserves it. Maybe even Finn Balor for all intents and purposes. He's just about to win it. Chris Jericho comes back, and he says that if anybody deserves to be the 10-time Intercontinental Champion, it should be him. I would love to see, maybe Finn Balor, Miz, and Chris Jericho battle at WrestleMania for that title. Finn Balor would come out on top and maybe have like a series of matches between Miz and Jericho where they're fighting to determine, I want that 10th reign more, no, I want it more, I want it more, I want it more, and, just build up to that so that way they could determine, who's going to be the first ever 10-time Intercontinental Champion. And maybe Miz will go on to be more than just 10 times, but it's just one of those things where it's just prestigious, where it's like, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that you could do this. And I say try to create something out of it and make the Miz that much more awesome, as you said, with one of the greatest in the business in Chris Jericho. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't even think you need to throw Finn Balor in that picture. I think if you just get Jericho and Miz one-on-one, especially if Miz gets up to that ninth run as Intercontinental Champion or something like that. Well, I suppose you probably would need a three-way then to decide who would get it, Miz or Jericho. But I mean, yeah, I think that could be cool.
I think it would be awesome, but we'll see if WWE goes through with that plan, because I think that they're going to definitely try to get Jericho in that 10th reign before he retires.
Yeah, I think, I would love to see Miz and Chris Jericho go at it, though. I think that would just be awesome.
That makes so many people happy, including us. Oh, boy. Your thoughts on this whole Enzo Cass getting attacked deal?
I don't like it at all.
Well, what's the point, is my question really here.
I mean, unless they're trying to do something and make it, well, they're trying to make it seem now that, like, at first it was Big Cass that was attacking Enzo, and now they made it look like Enzo attacked Big Cass, and I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. Big Show coming out last night with Enzo, I thought was just a bust.
Well, I will say this about that. I liked what they did originally, where Big Show was just like not even responding to Enzo. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was funny. Just seeing like, this 7-foot guy, and then there's Enzo just like trying to loosen him up a bit, and Big Show's just like, yeah, no, fuck off. Just leave me alone. And then of course, WWE fashion, they have Big Show just try to be entertaining, which, he can be very entertaining. It's just one of those things where it's just like, this was not one of those times I wanted him to be entertaining.
Yeah. I don't know. Unless, I hope they don't do the whole, is Enzo or Cass attacking each other. I really just hope they come out and say it was the Revival.
I think that would be best. And the worst part about that whole deal with Big Show and Enzo defeating the Club. And I'm dying more and more inside when that happens. It's just, what are they doing with the Club, man?
I don't know. That's just another thing. You got possibly one of the best tag teams on the face of the planet at your disposal, and you have them just do nothing.
Yeah, depressing.
It's almost like they took them from New Japan because they didn't want anyone else to have them.
Well, they got their wish, and they are, I don't know. But we move on from this to the Women's Championship matchup between Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. Dana Brooke and Mickie James made their way out because earlier Alexa Bliss tried to recruit them, but they just said, we'll just watch ringside as Nia Jax basically kills you. And it all ends up in a bit of a, I wouldn't say like a squash, not really a squash, just, one of those things where they come out and you kind of see the writing on the wall. Alexa Bliss pushes Dana Brooke and then Mickie James. Mickie gets involved and they call for the disqualification. Alexa Bliss retains the title. And then Nia Jax basically goes on to kill Mickie James and Dana Brooke for getting involved. This feud's not over.
No, and I thought it was a genius move from Alexa Bliss to attack those two at ringside, knowing that they would attack her back and that would get Nia Jax disqualified.
Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. And somebody actually pointed this out in a report that one of the reasons why they had Alexa Bliss seem so dominant on Extreme Rules was that so that way she has a little bit more, I guess, of an intimidation factor or a bit of a like a mental edge or something like that, or a physical edge against Nia Jax getting ready for that feud. But unless you put him in like a no DQ stipulation deal, there's no way that Alexa Bliss is going to survive a one-on-one regular wrestling match.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have to do some kind of thing, obviously, to make it where she can have some kind of advantage somehow, and I don't know, maybe it's just Nia Jax's time. I don't know. I would be okay with it because I've been a Nia Jax fan since day one, and I think when Nia Jax gets the title, she's going to keep it for a very long time.
I definitely do see that too. So we move on to the main event, that being Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe in a pretty good main event matchup. But then we get that cryptic deal of your boy Bray Wyatt where it looks like Seth Rollins is going to go for the win. Bray Wyatt just decides to have his graphics go out but doesn't show up. Samoa Joe locks in the coquina clutch and chokes out Seth Rollins for the win. I think Bray Wyatt has found his next victim.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, unless it's just him, like he said, he is going to get payback and kind of get his own brand of justice against all those competitors in that match. That might have something to do with it. I don't know. But they'll probably just end up having him lose anyway.
Oh, man. Yeah, and more than likely they'll have him face Finn Balor at Great Balls of Fire and lose again.
Yeah.
Just damn it, WWE, just let us have this one good thing, and that being Bray Wyatt.
Well, they had him on SmackDown, and then I thought it was hilarious because as soon as they took the title off Bray, the ratings dropped. And it's like, fuck you, WWE, that's what you get.
Very hard to disagree with that.
Like I said earlier, man, clearly the universe is behind him being champion. I mean, they freaking chanted, "You deserve it," when he got the title. Had a great match at Elimination Chamber and a triple threat match right afterwards with Cena and Styles. And the two titles he's had in WWE, he had the tag team titles for like 22, 23 days, and the world title for like a month. It's disgusting.
Yeah, disgusting to say the least, at least. Because we could go into a giant rave about, why they're possibly screwing over Bray Wyatt and why they're not putting him at his full potential. But I think that would take about another hour for us to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the main event was pretty good. Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins. I mean, you can't say really a bad thing about either one of those guys. And you put them together, and you know you're going to get a good match. And we did. And yeah, just like you said, the cryptic graphic came on. People didn't really know what to think about it, but it caused enough distraction for Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe to lock in the coquina clutch and get the victory, and now he's got some momentum going into, goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire, which he's going to need all the momentum he can get going up against Brock Lesnar.
God help us all. So, Monday Night Raw, we both agreed was one of those shows that just tanked completely. SmackDown has got, the matchup between Shinsuke Nakamura and Kevin Owens tonight. That's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah.
But all in all, hopefully Raw does some good for this for this pay-per-view named after a basically flaming STD penis.
Well, I mean, it's obviously they got the name from I want to say it was Jerry Lee Lewis song. But yeah, the graphic, like we said, looked like, just flaming cock and balls. I don't know. I thought Extreme Rules was really good. Who knows? Great Balls of Fire, Jesus Christ. That's the worst pay-per-view name ever. Like, I would rather just have In Your House again.
Same here. All right. So hopefully tonight Smack Talk will indeed resume again with Max Beatty and Spencer Hart. Change the F up tomorrow with myself and Victory Bell, where we will be reviewing Wonder Woman. Later on, hopefully this week, I will get a chance to do my review show for WPW Gridlock, as well as the ACW show that happened this past week. Anything going on with you guys over at Smart Money?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. We got some issues going on with SoundCloud right now. I don't know what's up with that. We'll have to figure it out. And I don't know. I've been telling Chris. I mean, it's been forever since we've recorded. We need to get back on it. And we're talking about maybe going to another recording platform or something like that. So who knows? We kind of, like I said, he went through a huge life change, so I'm not going to put too much pressure on him to record, but I'm pretty much always down to record whenever. And I'm sure he'll, when he's ready and available. I know work's been just pounding him lately. And like to the point where he was telling me he wants to look for a new job. So who knows? Yeah, we'll have to see when Smart Money gets back up and running again. But you guys will obviously be the first to know.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for a Raw reaction. Of course, you can always find us at Spreaker.com, along so many other great ways to listen to our show. You can always check out AJ on his Twitter at AJens81. Also myself at Nate Effing Great. Monday Night Raw sucked. Extreme Rules was awesome. Next week, we got Brock Lesnar.
You know damn well Smack Talk's going to continue tonight, because fucking Spencer's going to want to gloat and praise himself and talk about how amazing he is, when really he didn't do shit. It was just Samoa Joe. So he's gonna want to get out there and run his mouth and do that as soon as possible. He already did it. He recorded something like 5 seconds after Extreme Rules went off the air. And
yeah.
But that's Spencer for you. Suck it, Spencer.
Yeah, hashtag suck it, Spencer. And, of course, I will get my shot at Spencer Hart at Money in the Bank in just a few weeks, you guys. And, actually, AJ, I think you'll be pleased to know this. We actually picked our stipulation for what happens to the loser.
Oh, yeah?
So, you know about an establishment called Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Yeah.
And they have a special challenge there, right?
Yep.
Well, the loser's going to have to do that special blazing winning challenge for losing at Money in the Bank.
Oh, God.
Yeah, somebody's going to be pooping up fire for weeks, probably until, even surpassing Great Balls of Fire. But we might as well just create an event that says, like, goodness gracious, my ass is on fire. So that is going to wrap it up for Raw Talk, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here, and thank you so much for all the support that you have given us. Be sure to check out Smack Talk, hopefully tonight, and also give a shout-out to Spencer and tell him that he can just suck it. So for AJ, I am Nate the Effing Great. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.